All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for a new show, guys.
Yep.
Made in Abyss.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, the premiere episode 1.
Right.
And I'm kind of hyped. This is
Me
one of
too.
those seasonal shows that got a lot of buzz around it.
It did.
A lot of
just
people
a bit.
recommending us, please stop what you're doing, watch
Made
Made
in
in Abyss,
Abyss.
you know?
Yeah, if you watch nothing else, just watch it.
And I gotta say, I know the premise. I'm not going in completely blind. I know
There's
that
an
there's a
abyss.
hole.
Yeah.
And there's probably going to be people exploring the hole and
Because why else would it be
and
there?
what was Made in Abyss,
Yeah.
who knows. But I like that the premise is communicated in one sentence or one phrase even.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm already interested.
Right, because it's something that's a mystery. And
It's a mystery, but also there's the idea of like exploration. When you have something
Yes,
that's an
possibilities.
unknown, there's the possibilities of what you'll find, and it's the idea that that journey is the story potentially, and it's not about finding a specific thing. Too often stories make it about finding the treasure at the bottom of the
Right.
the tunnel, at the end of the
Exactly.
tunnel, finding the whatever.
I almost have like a Stranger Things vibe from like the premise. Like I don't know. Maybe it's
That's
maybe it's
kinda
just because
interesting. I
season
think
2
it's-
had the whole
Yeah, I don't know, but I think the idea of having this in a pseudo like Miyazaki fantasy setting, kind of thing, like the way the images look on the thing and stuff like that, seems it's going to be about like kids and
Right.
explorers and about the journey and the beauty. So I'm looking to see some good discussion of like world building stuff coming from this.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. So without further ado, let's get into this and see what Made in Abyss has in store for us.
じゃあ帰りは異物運ぶの手伝ってよね。
なんでだよ。
さて今日は赤笛の中で最高の査定額を出さないといけないんだから。
Okay.
無理だろう。あれでご
This
ま
is
か
the
したら
plucky
どう
main
だ
character,
こ
right?
の間ちょろまかしてた。
星の羅針盤？あれはダメ。あれはアビスの真実に導いてくれるものなんだから。
Oh.
Plot point.
もし
Yep.
隠してたのがバレたら、今度は裸釣りじゃ済まない。
Oh.
Whoa.
乙女のトラウマが。
まあ気をつけろよ。
A maiden abyss.
Yeah, it's
大
funny.
ゴンドラ
I love how much that they're already familiar with this, you know?
Right.
今日はモリモリ発掘しますよ。
Yeah, you can do the protagonist that knows nothing, but you can also do the protagonist that knows a lot.
Right. Oh, discovered something.
さあやりますか。査定ナンバーワン。よいしょ。一つ。あ、二つ。
Burial site there.
Let's just leave that.
久々に見たからびっくりしちゃった。マジ重い。どこ行ったのよ。
Did he fall down the
このや
well?
つ。
Whoa.
Is that a dragon?
口なはなんでこんな浅いとこに。
Oh, that could be a problem.
やだ、あれ血。
Oh, crap.
That could be a real problem. Now, oh, it's fast.
jeez.
Oh crap. Okay, that's a problem.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay. I thought she was gonna fall much farther.
腕が折れてない。
Oh. Jeez.
Okay.
Yep. It's too fat to get through here. Oh, maybe. No. Okay.
Jump on top and ride it by its tendril things.
Right? What?
Are there like laser guns in this world? One of the relics they found, maybe?
No. I think something shot at it.
Yeah, but what?
私誰かに助けられたのかな
Do we have a sniper?
It's possibly
In this
it's
show?
possibly something like that, or it's some kind of like automated defense system.
Oh. Never mind, I'm getting reverse Laputa vibes.
For sure.
Is this someone else?
Yeah.
Does she actually know CPR?
何この感触
Oh.
これ人間じゃ
Yeah. He's some kind of
Uh-huh.
like
偉いくんじゃんもうこの子どこから来たのよしナットもう少しだよ
バカ野郎、ここからが大変なんだろうが。
Now they have to go up a hill.
oh,
なんだ
another
シリか
explorer.
よ。
びっくりした誰わからないけどとりあえずロボットくん
やっぱりいた。
委員長ただいま帰りました
Director,
早く中
huh?
に入りな。
Oh my gosh, he looks terrifying.
Yep.
なんとかなるかも
And they snuck in Robot Boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
昨日はご苦労だった採掘量はそれほどでもなかったが
Verticality, that's so cool.
こんなものだろう委員長からお話がある
言いたいことは一つだけだよ。笛持ちは組合の個人生徒である自覚を持ってしっかり稼ぐように。誇り高く散っていった親御さんにも
Oh.
恥じないようにね。
Yep, it's an
あ
orphanage.
いや
あともう一つ。
二つ目だ。
二つ目だ
異物のちょろまかしはご法度だよ。
Relics.
ナットがリュックを紛失したのはベニクチナワに襲われたからだと言ってるんだが
そうなんですよ私が助けなかったら今頃ヘビの糞ですよナットのやつ
お前が助けた
Yep.
この笛でピーって私がおとりになって
それでお前はどうやって
How did you get saved then
それが
exactly?
もうびっくり今まで見たことがない光がどうしてロボットくんのことまでしゃべ
Wow.
ったの
Wow. Wow.
Oh, he's
誰
waking
か
up.
いるのか
You.
子供の声ダイヤルを2に合わせてはい来た
Set the dial to 2.
まあいいや
So they plugged him into something?
Right, like a car battery or something like that, probably.
ねえシギ押していい
リコ、それ20
ほら
He Frankenstein to
通
him.
り電気でよかったんだよ
さっき焼け石炭食わせてたの誰だよ。
Oh my god.
私わかる君が助けてくれたんだよあんな遠くからどうやってヘビをやっつけたのでもまずお名前教えて
So many questions.
おい、がっつきすぎだって。引いてるぞ。
Oh, that
ご
boom.
めんね
Boom.
私の名
Yep,
前
in
は
the
リコだろ
background.
君たちは拷問が仕事なのか
リコの部屋は元お仕置き部屋なんだ。
What
What?
the heck?
Really?
されたんだぜ。それから俺たちの仕事は探掘家だ。
Okay.
もう見習いの赤笛だけどな。
ロボットなのか
Oh.
ロボットだよ電気で動い
He's
たし
unaware.
火にも強かったし肌に傷一つつかなかったしってあれロボってことまで覚えてないの
さっきの
Oh.
電気で記憶飛んでるんじゃない
He's made for the dangerous, going down deep
みんな
stuff.
消えちゃってる
Sure.
出力全開はや
Or
り
he's
すぎだ
something
った
made from down.
They killed Power the entire orphanage with their.
なんでバレたの
普段の行いのせいだろ。
These kids are legit.
That's great.
出てきちゃダメいいひどい目に遭わされるよ
Maybe hide that too?
Yeah. I love how earnest she is.
Yeah.
お前今度は何をした
いい い角度だったんですよ。
Oh,
この
Nice.
小細工はシギーだな。またわけのわからんことを。おい、何か言うことは？
ごめんなさい。もうしません。
探掘がうまくい
I love the tinkerer kind of thing.
だからといって
Better to ask forgiveness than permission kind of person that she is.
まるでないんだ
Whoa.
ぞ。
Whoa.
聞いてるか、リコ。
シギーたち
Oh, his ears are pointed too.
何
Good
鏡の
catch.
前でおめかし
No.
やばい。どうしよう。逃げなきゃ。僕に捕まって早く。僕に見せたいものがあったんだ。レグ、君の名前。
That's
名
your
前
name.
がないと
Okay.
不便でしょ。
Reg,
って名前どう
Nat,
かな。
Rico, and
構
Shiggy.
わないが。ちなみに由来は？前に飼ってた犬の名前。
Aww.
犬。
You're her pet for now.
Exactly.
He's like, oh, whatever. This is going to be something important to the depth of her character.
およそ1900年
Whoa,
前
whoa, whoa, exposition.
南海ベオルスカの孤島に
Whoa,
巨大
that
な
is a
建
remote
物が
Alright.
発見され
Yeah.
た直径約1000メートル深さは今も分かっていない
Okay.
長年にわたって未知へのロマンとあまたの伝説を餌に多くの人々を飲み込んできた世界唯一最後の深淵
Wow. Yeah.
アビスとい
And
う
it goes down.
Yep, yep.
And
And this is
down.
already way deeper than anyone has gone.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, that was a fantastic first start.
So,
We got all the characters.
Yeah.
We got the premise re-emphasized to us. We got some
did.
context.
Uh-huh.
We got the whole depth thing, and you probably predicted it 100%. The idea that because no one has been to the bottom, it's the idea of what could be at the bottom.
yeah.
And also this kid being a robot that no one's ever seen anything like before. He is probably from the bottom.
Yep.
And all these artifacts lead us to believe that there's probably some lost ancient civilization there.
Right.
And maybe they've been digging up, you know. And it's the idea that,
That would
you
be
know,
insane.
the hole is them basically trying to get into the upwards world or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe our version of history is wrong. I get the feeling that this
Sure.
is one of those shows that we don't want to take everything at face value.
Right.
Because the mystery and adventure element is such that there's going to be big reveals at some point. And given that those reveals are coming, we should kind of look at everything from multiple angles.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you did as well, because I was like, ooh, he was an original one sent down there, and he's, you know, like, he's made for it. And you're like, well, what if he came from the bottom? And I'm like, oh, wait.
yeah.
Like,
And-
that's another great way to look at it, and it's what the main character immediately assumes, so it's probably right.
And I love that they're having the main characters be kids, and I'm not talking.
Yes!
I'm not talking high
Yes.
school. Like
Like
anything
12-year-olds,
yeah,
like,
where,
this is
where they're
Avatar Last
curious,
Airbender.
where there's the sense of wonder, where they're just shining eyes, and they're trying to keep secrets from the adults, but
they're doing it so badly.
They're doing it so badly. Like, I love that. That's so endearing, and like,
Yeah, Rika as a main character is fantastic.
Yep.
Already, given that,
she cares.
well, yeah, even though she has no like depth other than what we've seen on screen. She cares a lot about this world, and this
Yeah.
is something that we've reiterated over and over and over and over again, is if you have a main character that cares passionately and deeply about
Yep.
the world that they are in, especially in a fictional, even more fantasy specific setting, it helps us care way
so
more.
much. And okay, here's one of the other things I want to say. You were saying how she hasn't really been developed as a character, Or
No, she doesn't have as much depth.
She doesn't have as much depth as
other
a
than
character.
what we've seen on screen.
Right, other than what we've seen on screen. And if you think about it, for a kid, that's fine.
It is
because
fine,
kids
yeah.
haven't fully decided who they want to be yet. So then when they're
Right.
brought into the conflicts that will no doubt happen in a story like this,
They'll mature and
That's where they
grow up.
mature, and you more find out what they're made of.
Right.
Which is one of the great things that you can see happen in stories like this that you also see happen in like Miyazaki movies.
Yes, absolutely. And that creature, the split jaw, I
Yeah.
forgot the first adjective.
Crimson Split Jaw.
Crimson split
Yeah.
jaw. I think that's right. Yeah. That thing was legit.
Oh, yeah.
I think one of the things that they're wanting us to get the themes of is the idea that the abyss has many mysteries into it, and some of them are beautiful, but others are terrifying,
And some are
like
both.
this crimson split jaw thing.
Right.
And the deeper they go,
Mm-hmm.
the more we will understand the world and the way kind of things
Yes.
work, but also we'll get to see more beauty and also more not so beautiful things.
Right. And I really hope that they don't have the Crimson Split Jaws be like the common sort of every monster that you see or whatever. I want them
right.
I really want to see what other things they come up with, because I remember that was one of the things that I didn't like as much about something like, say, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan had a ton of mysteries and a ton of suspense, and a lot of it was surrounding the Titans, but the Titans all sort of felt the same after a while.
Oh, really? I never
sometimes they
really
do-
felt that.
Sometimes they do like crazy stuff, like a Titan that crawls or jumps or whatever stuff like
Well,
that.
no,
But-
it's the idea that they had human-esque traits, but then
Right.
they had that one thing about them that was just off.
yeah,
And it made you feel like these are like people, but they're not. And
Right.
then you had the Colossal and Armored Titan
Yes.
as like there are special Titans out there.
right.
So I think this is kind of the thing where it'll be like, oh, a something something. We haven't seen that this high up before.
Right.
And then as they go down, they'll go, oh, here's the more
And-
Crimson Split Jaws, and then they go deeper and they go, we haven't seen a Crimson Split Jaw in forever.
Right, yeah,
And now
and
we're
they'll
seeing
see-
these
they'll
weird,
see
like,
other things,
I don't
yeah.
know, like chitinous crab spiders or whatever.
And that's why I'm so excited, because
Yes.
that way they can keep adding. Because okay, if you think about it, this show's like what, 12 episodes?
I think
it
it's
is?
13.
12 or 13, but
Yeah.
one core, right? So really short.
Really
But
short.
if they're continuously going deeper and they're continuously unraveling new things, you can be in this constant state of world building and discovery.
Obviously,
Right?
yes.
While-
that's what this thing is probably known for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And make a really just get me engrossed in this world,
Right.
even though they don't actually have a lot of time to set it up.
I think that's also going to be the thing, is that right now we are at the mercy of the knowledge of our main characters who
Right.
know a decent amount.
Yeah.
Like, they're tinkerers, they're inventors, they're explorers, they're adventurers. They know all these proper nouns that we don't fully
Yep.
know yet.
And-
but then they brought in this robot kid who will be the
Exactly.
audience, and he has his own mystery that he's bringing
Right.
into the whole thing. And when they go down into the depths together, which is obviously going to happen, they will all then be at the mercy of whatever they see
Right.
together. There
Yes.
won't be anyone with special information,
Yeah.
except maybe the robot.
Except maybe
kid.
the robot.
Yeah,
And,
so it'll be a nice role reversal.
and by the way, they did a fantastic job of, because okay, one of the benefits of having a main character that doesn't really know anything is that then you can have there be exposition as people are explaining to them,
Right.
and have it not seem out of place, right?
For sure.
In this case, they did the different thing where they have the main characters that actually do know a lot about stuff, and
Yes.
by doing that, they can complement the audience, because they're basically saying, we'll let you figure it out, you're smart enough to do that, but then they also left plenty of stuff in there
Yes.
from the standpoint of just how they talked,
Right.
how they talked
Very
about
true.
certain things, to also the visuals that they had in there, because there was nothing
Yes.
there was nothing like cookie cutter or stereotypical about any of the visuals. All of it communicated something.
It did. I want to talk about the visuals, because one of the things that kind of seems to be a point in this show is scale, and is the idea that
yeah,
the size
yeah.
of everything you have to kind of take into account constantly. And they even did that little bits of times with the pickaxe and kind of the weight behind it.
Yep.
Like, she was swinging it, but it was still relatively heavy. She was, bringing all this stuff into her pack, but it was still quite heavy.
Yeah.
And when they're running, from the Crimson Splitjaw thing, and
It's
falling
all
and stuff.
Can it make it through the
Yeah,
the spaces
exactly.
and-
So
Yep.
when they finally get up to the top at the end of the episode and they look over this whole thing, you realize they were in a small part of the top 1%
Yep.
of this tiny piece of the abyss,
Right.
and we
Yeah.
haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, because like
It's-
I love that they gave the dimensions on it, both
Yes.
on how
Wide
wide it
it
is, but then also the deepest that anyone's ever gone. So if the abyss is this wide, that means people have only ever gone that deep, and that's like the insane stuff. And they were this deep.
Yeah.
And when they zoomed in afterwards, the abyss was it just
Yeah,
went
yeah,
down
it
and
went
down and down.
thousands of meters down. Well, one of the other things we can sort of assume is this might be some kind of journey to the center of the earth kind of thing, where we find some special civilization at the center of the core of the planet or what have you. But even if we assume Earth-sized, planetoid, 4,000 meters would get them to the center. And I think this is way bigger than that. The idea that the diameter was that much and they kept going down that much, this is a huge hole. Like, this is
Not 4,000 meters. It would be 4,000
to get to the center.
kilometers, right?
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I was like,
guys.
wait a minute,
I'm
that's not
dumb.
right.
No.
But
I'll
the
shut
point
up.
is, they can go down deep.
They can go down very far. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I got.
We don't use the metric system normally.
We don't.
No, it messes us up when we think about it. We just think
Yeah,
miles.
my bad.
Miles
miles and
and
meters
same
do the
thing.
same thing. Okay, so no, they could go down
Very
4,000
far.
miles
Yeah.
and still have, not gone to the center. And I don't even think that, the Earth's crust being, like 20 to 30 miles,
Right.
that could still be a massive hole
Oh yeah.
in terms of
yeah.
things go.
Right, because 1.6 kilometers per mile, and yeah. Conversions. But one of the things that I really hope to see, so the robot looks fairly human-ish, right?
Right.
But the creatures very much don't. Now, if the robot was built in the abyss, and then he's come up from the abyss, the reason why I was saying that I think maybe he was built that way specifically to come up and look fairly similar to humans is because I hope whatever is down in the abyss still has that element of mystery and almost mystical look to it. I don't want them to end if there was.
You don't want it to just be another group of humans.
Exactly. If it was some sort of ancient civilization, I don't want them to be humanoid.
They will be.
I know
They will be. No. Actually, this is where it gets interesting, Jacob. Humans are such really interesting creatures when you think about them at the animal level.
Yes.
But here's the thing that's really crazy is how subject to our environment humans are.
That's
and the
true.
idea
Yeah,
that
humans
this
adapt very well.
entire city's culture is built around the abyss,
Yep.
piece of its environment. In fact, they have a almost kind of please, sir, can I have some more setting for the kids and stuff here who are in some kind of Victorian era torture school,
orphanage
thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I love that the desks are lined up on the wall.
Well, the verticality, yes,
Yeah.
but my point is that one could look at that environment and go, ugh.
Yeah.
But I think when we go down into the abyss, when we see how the environment has potentially shaped whatever group of people made this boy, we're taking a little bit of assumption here, but I think you don't need them to be non-human truly for them to be very eerie, mystical, strange people. Because
fair enough.
Man,
I'm just thinking fondly of the effect that QB had.
Yes.
Just being just different and unsettling and
Sure,
not right.
Sure. But let's hope they do find something rather than a bunch of just skeletons and a dead civilization.
Yeah. Or just it's just different kinds of monsters all the way down,
Well, no, I think that this show being 13 episodes means that they're going to want to do more.
Right, exactly.
This is the kind of thing where
they're not
the
going to pull
abyss
their
is
punches.
truly endless. They're kind of saying, hey, guys, we could make this show go as long as we want. So have fun
Right.
going with us into this
See how
mystery
far
of
the rabbit
abyss.
hole goes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I could see them maybe finding signs of the civilization and maybe seeing
sure.
some people or some like things of it. But we could get to a place at the end where they don't even reach that far.
Oh,
at
sure.
the end of this first tour.
And I really hope they don't reach the bottom of the abyss.
Oh, no.
Like, because
I'll bet you that once we get to like potentially even other things or people at the like whatever this boy came from, I'll bet you they have their own version of the deep abyss, because it'll keep going.
Sure,
It's the
yeah.
idea that there will be people that will
That's
have
a great
stopped.
point.
Like, think about it this way: the parents and stuff that went down there and haven't come
yeah,
back.
Uh-huh.
Think about it this way:
What if they actually are down there?
what if they are down there, and it's not that they didn't want to come back, it's that they're physically unable to. The idea is that once they got down there into the dark so much, they basically forgot. Like, they lost sight of...
That would take a while. That would...
Oh, it would take a while.
Yeah.
Yes, but if each kid is 12...
Right,
12 years in the dark.
That's actually one of the
No.
one of the biggest questions about this. The fact that all the kids seem to be the same age. Because if you have something like an orphanage, right?
I mean,
If
there
it's-
was the baby. There was the baby.
okay, yeah, there was the baby, but even then, most of them seem to be around the same age.
Ish, yeah.
Because, like, with the school, you can do that because it's like, okay, they're just in some particular grade or whatever, right?
Right.
But with an orphanage, unless there's, like, an orphanage for, like, different years of, like...
There could be, though.
There could be. They did name the orphanage, so there might be more.
Oh, it's a culling. Like, we thought about this when we went into Weird Attack on Titan.
Okay,
things,
yeah,
But
yeah.
what if the idea is that once you get above a certain age, you get sent down, and your mission is to go down. It is not to come up.
Well, okay.
and they're adding to the numbers of this
I like
group
that.
down below.
I like that. Because one of the things that they've set up is that there's obviously something very wrong with at least the orphanage itself. But that shot with the armed guard on the gate as they're coming back,
Yep.
that gave me all kinds of vibes of like, the real monsters aren't down there.
Oh,
Like,
well,
like-
okay, I see what you're saying with that regard. I feel like that the story isn't about this city. I feel like this is
Yes.
just a symptom of the abyss. And the
Sure.
idea is once they understand the abyss, then they can come back up in kind of a way later in the story thing of coming full circle with
Yeah.
the maturity and
Oh, yeah.
knowledge of, yes, that
it is literally the hero's journey going down into
the abyss, which is a trope in the...
Yeah.
I mean, it's a part in the hero's journey,
right.
by the way.
And then getting some boon and coming back.
Right.
And, yeah.
Right. So I think the point is that they're going to go down, and this part of the story will end with them not coming back up.
I hope they spend a lot of time in the abyss. One of the things that like this kind of thing gets me excited about, and since they showed so much that they were able to do just sort of on the outskirts of the
right.
abyss,
Yes.
as they were going down, is that if you have an abyss like that and it just goes, some tunnel or whatever that goes straight down, wouldn't it make sense to have things that kind of like branch off from it at the different levels and stuff? So they could spend a lot of time
Yeah.
at like different depths and stuff,
Yep.
and still not explore all that was there.
Right. Think of it in a way like a version of Minecraft. You don't dig straight down forever. You go down, and then once you think you're at a good level to where you'll find some good resources, you go out.
Yeah.
And then you go back to that spot and you dig down some more and you go out. You don't go dig too far down because you might hit lava.
Exactly.
But the idea is that, yes, at every single depth, they will be following the trail of their parents.
Right.
And finding things that maybe they discovered and left behind.
Yep.
Things that are clues about what's further down deeper. They might find that these skeletons of people that they, find at, like she was saying, oh, it has been a while since I've seen one. Those are other people that tried to come back up and just couldn't make it.
Sure. Yeah. And one of the other things that's interesting is that they mentioned that her mom didn't come back from 400 meters, right?
I think
they're-
so,
And now they're
yes.
at 600 meters. So it's the idea that they're getting farther and farther down.
Right, but
Right.
the idea is that her not making it back from 400 meters, I think, is about the idea that the abyss lured them in deeper. Basically, the
Sure, yeah.
drive for adventure,
Yeah.
people kept going down because they could, but that's kind of the call to adventure of what's in humanity. It's the idea of exploring and seeing and perceiving all that there is.
Yeah.
And when you see something that, just is like, well, there's we don't know what's in there.
What's the saying of the a ship will never sink if it stays at dock, but that's not what it was built for.
Right.
Like,
I think that's
something
the
like
gist
that.
of it.
Yeah. So yeah, this will be really cool.
It'll be really cool. I think we've got some really good fuel to cross-reference with whatever information we get in episode 2 in particular.
Yes.
Because what we got here is a bit of contextual stuff and a bit of loose details. But once we start to see things get re-emphasized or maybe doubled down upon with regard to maybe some themes, we can then see whether or not a lot of this stuff at the surface is actually as important as we're making it out to be, or whether or not we're going to have them just run away from the orphanage.
Possibly.
And they just go down.
Now, okay, here's one of the things that I want to really praise this show for. When I'm going to make a comparison to, like, Stranger Things, right? Okay, Stranger Things, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Eleven wasn't actually introduced in the first episode.
Correct.
She was introduced in, like, the second episode. And those were hour-long episodes. Here they have a 20-minute first episode, or 25 minutes or whatever, and they not only gave us a great introduction to this world that is very different from just, like, they didn't just set it in high school, right? Yeah. They made this very, very different, very unique. And it isn't even like Little Witch Academia, where it's basically Harry Potter with a new skin. Like, and they introduced this new mystery upon the mystery of the Abyss. Right, which was the boy, the robot.
Yeah.
And then they started to act on that mystery, which is awesome. Like,
basically, the idea is this show
is not going to waste time.
Yes, it understands where it's going, and it's not going to waste time getting there.
Yeah,
it's moving along. One of the things that I have to echo as well is the idea in which making them kids actually increased the pacing in a positive way. You could say that with kids, you get all
simpler.
It keeps it simpler. Yes, that's exactly the point. But the idea is, a lot of people would say with kids, it actually complicates things, because you have to show that they're kids by having them meander or talk about stupid stuff. But this world seems to be built around the idea that these 12-year-old kids are forced to do things that most 12-year-old kids that would not be forced to do.
Yep.
So it makes us question certain things.
Yep.
And these kids aren't asking those questions.
Exactly.
Therefore, we go, wait a minute, this is even weirder.
Yep.
But also the fact that they're not asking those questions means that we don't have to necessarily either.
Even though we're still going to.
So that helps things go along extremely fast. So the first 5 minutes, I would say, of this show did wonders just in being able to communicate that.
Yeah.
And
one other thing to mention. So, but they did still show that they were very much kids, though.
They did.
They were kind of bumbling around, when
the director being so scary.
Being so scary and, like, trying to, like, we don't want to get in trouble, try and sneak past them or whatever, and trying to lie, but and keep a secret, but being so
bad at
obvious. Like, even when she just looks at her, she's like, oh no, like, I don't think she knows.
I could see them actually pulling a thing where actually the director is a great woman. Like, she's not evil or anything like that.
She's actually, like, bending over backwards to keep these kids, like, fed
safe
and
everything like that. Yeah, I could see that being a thing where she's just stressed out and stuff.
She's not the tsundere uncle like old dude. She's the tsundere mom. That's,
but
like,
she's not
they're
related probably to any of them.
Exactly. It's the thing of they're not her kids, but she still kind of treats them as her kids, but she's very strict and stuff.
Sure.
I mean, she gave her an
what
execution
was with
chamber.
The public naked shaming?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that needs to be...
I think that's one of those things where they were basically throwing out something out there that's super extreme that makes us go like, what?
Well,
but then
no.
Kids don't. But the kids don't, like, really think about it too much. They're just like, no, I don't want that to happen.
Right.
So then
Well, yeah. Here's one aspect that makes it a little bit weird. It's the idea because they're kids, it's actually a problem. But if this was adults, that kind of public shaming was much more common in
Sure.
500 years ago. The idea
Yeah.
is that we're meant to challenge a lot of our, I'd say, our current held beliefs based around the idea of their age. It's the idea
Sure.
that kids shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't do that to kids. This
You
is
shouldn't have them sleep in execution chambers, you know.
right. All this kind of stuff. So, what other things are they going to make us question about kids? Like, here's the one thing that
Well-
also I very much noticed: the idea that she didn't like freak out as much as I thought she would when Nat was bloody. It's the idea that
Oh.
death might not be something
Sure.
that really scares them as much,
Well, I mean,
because
they are
have to get over their
orphans,
fear
so-
of heights and falling and stuff.
Well, that too, but also the fact that all of their parents are dead.
That too.
So,
but maybe
you know.
also the idea that they've seen potentially kids like
Right.
die.
Well, yeah, the thing
in
that
the
got me
abyss.
more than the blood was when she saw the skeleton and she's like, "Oh, I haven't seen one of those in a while." Like,
Well, she freaked out a little bit.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
but it seemed to be more from like shock than like, "Ah, that's so scary."
Well,
like,
once you've seen 5, Jacob.
no, I know, but that's the
fifth
point.
one,
that she's seen 5 skeletons or something, and it's like,
Right.
oh, okay.
But you'd think she wouldn't have seen 5 skeletons. I actually thought that was the most unsurprising thing we saw this whole episode.
Oh no, not that it's surprising, but that it goes to show that these kids are not normal.
Well, they're not versed in the same experience that we are.
Exactly.
Their environment is dictating a lot of their
Right.
world, and this is my
That's how
re-emphasis
it
point.
is for kids.
Well, that's how it is for everyone.
Well,
and
yes.
this is one of the points specifically with kids is that if there are kids that grew up in the orphanage or what have you, and go down into the abyss and find something different, just find something different, shatter their entire universe. It's the idea that they could make literally any decision from that point because everything is on the table now.
Well, and they kind of already have with the introduction of the robot.
Right, but what if that's kind of the thing? The idea is that even though maybe they were adults when they went down to 400 meters or what have you, when they went down that far, they were still essentially in that kid state where they've seen nothing but this. So once they
Sure.
saw something that made them want to go deeper, who cares
Yeah.
about I'm going down. I'm going to find
Right.
out where this leads. It's the idea of kind of following that trail of food, Specifically, it's like this leads to something.
So-
I don't
so this
care
is-
that it's a trap or
so-
what have you. It's
so-
the idea I have to know.
So this is actually some sort of eldritch horror thing that's sitting at the bottom, just like eating the food that comes down to it.
I don't want it to be that, but
Me
I
neither.
could see them having a thing where there is something inhuman underneath, like in the abyss.
Yeah.
But the idea is that above that there are real people.
Sure.
The abyss's depth is deeper than even the deep people
Right.
that are potentially down there
Yes.
think it. It is.
One of the things I hope doesn't happen is basically what they did with the Aincrad arc in Sword Art Online, where they're like, and we'll time skip, and 25 floors later, and 60 floors later. Like, I want them to, like, I know that this is a short show, but I want at the end of this season, right?
Yeah.
I want to have the feeling of like, whoa, that was crazy, but they haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah. No,
they haven't, like, maybe they've gotten 1,000 meters down.
I'll
Maybe.
bet you that once they start getting somewhere, they will be taken deeper.
Sure.
Basically, the idea that that's
It's like,
where
how
the
deep
time
are we?
skip.
We don't know.
No, that's where the time skip will happen. They'll go down. They'll go
Mm-hmm.
down. They'll go like 1,000 meters or something like that. But then they'll like go to sleep or something, and then they'll get like abducted or something, and
Yeah.
then they'll get brought into this. They'll get brought to this new place or what
Mm-hmm.
have you, and it'll be like, where are we? And it'll be like the robot.
Yeah.
And once they're down there, it'll be like, oh, we used our pulley system. You're now 5,000 meters deep. You're like, and the abyss still keeps going, or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah. That
Also, I wonder if they'll go into the idea that the abyss being 1,000 meters, the light can still go down pretty far, but there's
when
like
it's
that.
high noon.
No, but it would never really go down that far, even. The idea that there is a point where it doesn't matter what time it is, no light escapes from that place.
Right.
Because
Yep.
it might not be perfectly centered. It could be off at an angle, or
Yep.
something like that. So as you go down further and further and further, eventually you can't even see the hole, like the hole at the top. And that's where I think some people could be, is the idea that once you
Right.
get down that far, they're like, the surface? What
Yeah,
are you
it's
talking
like
about?
it's like the silver chair when it's like the sun. What's that? Like
Yeah.
that doesn't exist. That's
Right.
Oh yeah, that's a great children's story. Yeah, the sun. Right.
Right.
The
So
sky.
this could get really interesting. I feel like these theories in particular are going to be rewarded the more we watch. So we should get into episode 2.
Let's do that.
Yeah. All right, guys, if you want to watch episode 2's reaction right now, you can go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon's early access. Get in on that. It comes with Discord access as well. You can chat with us about stories and what have you, and we'll see you all there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.